I guess I'll just go over the path here for people that can't really follow the written guide as well. Maybe you're getting lost trying to follow just the written guide. People want a little bit more of a visual. So I think maybe I'll just make this into a video on YouTube or something and put it into the guide, embed it there. But we're taking the right side here for the non-physical damage. And then we're going to this first glyph socket. It's going to have winter. So the glyphs that we want to focus on here are going to be separate damage multipliers are the biggest ones, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these separate damage multiplier bonuses are dexterity bonuses. And we're kind of limited actually in how many boards have dexterity bonuses. I've only found the two. I think it's just the two, actually three, this one here. So I think it's like 3 boards I've seen that actually have enough 25 that have 25 dexterity in radius of a level 1 glyph with the 3 radius for a level 1 glyph that you can obtain the additional bonus for. And I think that some of the boards you can eventually get 25 dex if you level up the glyph to level 15 and get that 4 radius. But to start off here, we have winter because this is... No, this is wrong. This is wrong. Sorry, I was testing things. It's not winter first here, right? So the first one is actually control. So control is going to go here. This is our best, one of our best ones because it has up to 20% increased damage to stunned or frozen enemies. And this will actually have 2 stacks. If you stun and freeze, you get 2 separate 20% damage multipliers, right? So it's a 1.2 times 1.2. And you get the stun if you have that raiment of the infinite chess piece. So if you eventually want to get this piece, we just got this piece yesterday. It was a pretty pog drop. I've only seen this drop one time, and it was after quite a bit of playing at 76 here, level 76 here. But teleport will provide us a stun and a pull, and then we hit the freeze. So we have them stunned and frozen, and it gives us both of those damage bonuses, both of those 20% damage bonuses, right? So control is really big here. And of course, we pick up all the dex in the surrounding area. Dexterity, pick up all the dexterity here in order to get more damage to crowd control enemies. We got 48.1% there, right? And then we continue on into this board here is Burning Instinct. And we went for the next glyph socket, which is going to be also another really good separate damage multiplier here, Destruction. And actually, Destruction is even better with the regular bonus because it's crit strike damage, which is really big. So I'm already getting 73.7% crit strike damage with this. That is huge. That is massive crit strike damage right there. In addition to a separate damage multiplier of 12% in the additional, right? And the reason why I was able to get this much crit strike damage from Destruction was it was my first glyph that I leveled up to 15. You should level Destruction up to level 15 as a priority as your first glyph. You should be spamming quite a bit of Nightmare Dungeons to level up anyways. So at the end of Nightmare Dungeons, level up the Destruction. We get another extra radius here, and we were able to pick up a few more dexterity nodes because of it. But the pathing here is just along the bottom and then all around clockwise, picking up the rare nodes and the good magic nodes. And then we come up here for burning damage to enemies. We are picking up like burning damage to enemies and damage reduction from burning enemies because like here's damage to burning and damage reduction from enemies that are burning. So that's why we're using Fire Bolt Enchantment right here is to apply that burning damage, right? And then we're also getting burning stuff from the skill tree with Devouring Blaze, more crit strike damage there. So having that burn effect being applied with all of our attacks is pretty big. It's giving us all these bonuses and activating quite a bit of damage and damage reduction. So we went up there for Kindling, and then we just continued to the left here and went into this board here, which was Elemental Summoner. Again, I went for the glyph socket originally, but now I found that it's not worth going for this one. Primarily because you can't get 25 decks around here in a 4 radius. So, but the mana was important enough to just kind of go through this board really quickly, just to pick up that extra mana. And then we're going to go up here for Flame Feeder, because Flame Feeder is another separate damage multiplier. We have Flame Feeder there. We're going to put that in, and we're going to get more increased damage to burning targets, as well as this 10% separate damage multiplier. Whenever you see that X, you see that X inside the brackets, that means it's a separate damage multiplier as opposed to being additional. If it's additional, like the first bonus here that has increased damage to burning targets, that's an additional bonus, and it's going to add together with other damage bonuses like damage to injured, healthy, close, distant, burning, frozen, chilled, crowd controlled, slowed, whatever it is, right? Those are all gonna add into one damage pool additively with each other. So it's gonna have quite a bit of diminished returns because of that. So that's why we really want to focus on these X bonuses, the separate damage multipliers. But yeah, the Flame Feeder, we're going there. And then we have, don't really have any good rare nodes right there, right? So we're probably just going to be skipping a lot of rare nodes. But we'll probably go for this crit strike damage. We'll go for the crit strike damage. And then from there, I guess we'll see how many points we have left over. We'll probably just be exiting right here and then putting in another board right here eventually. So I'll continue to add more Paragon to that written guide right here on Icy Veins. You just go to the Sorcerer, Ice Shards, and then we have the Paragon. So this is what I worked on to add more to this, in addition to the new updated gear section is now per gear slot. So now we have all the priority stats for each gear slot. And I made sure to bold the ones that are super important, because right here we talk about how at the beginning of the guide, I talk about how you want to have certain gear ready before you switch to this build. The problem is a lot of people are switching to this build before they have the gear ready, and then running into problems, and it's just not fun to play. But yeah, you need the cooldown reduction, you need the mana cost reduction, you need the max mana. I have bolded values here where the cooldown reduction and max mana cost reduction is. Those are the important stats. The max mana, the Ice Shard is an important one as well as Frost Nova, just to reduce the cooldown on Frost Nova. And then plus all defensive skills also includes Frost Nova, as well as Flame Shield and Ice Armor. So yeah, those are the updates so far.